They call James in Dothan, Alabama. Hey, James, what's up?
Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
Good. What's on your mind?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hope you're well, James.
Yeah, I'm doing all right, Tom. Good to talk to you, man. The reason I called, Tom, I'm a retired correction officer from the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at a maximum security prison for 20 years. I'm 6'6", and at that time I weighed 300 pounds. And part of my job was physical restraints, taking inmates down. That is routine, Tom, in a prison setting. It's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
You see takedowns, physical takedowns, and you don't even watch it. But you have to be careful with it. Correction officers are the best kept secret in America. We are America's best trained. So newspaper reporters need to stop calling us prison guards. We have not had guards in 50 years. We're trained with policemen. We do the identical work. My job as a correction officer, Tom, is one of the most stressful jobs in America. The turnover every year in these prison systems, especially large, over 50 to 60%. No one ever retire.
Yeah.
But when I look around, Tom, and I see a large department like Dallas have officers that's doing what they're doing, it is a ridiculous situation.
Well, James, let's not mix things up here. Dallas's police department is one of the best and most professional in the United States. I don't think we can say that about Baton Rouge, and I don't think we can say that about that suburb of Minneapolis in Minnesota, based on what their officers did. But Dallas has, it's one of the most progressive big city police departments in the country, which is the real irony here. Is this guy, chose a police department that actually does, racial sensitivity training, that actually does, that actually talks about white privilege, that actually talks about, how to interact with people who don't speak English and who are, recently arrived in the United States, or how to deal with people who are hostile or upset. I mean, Dallas does a pretty good job of this stuff. Sorry to interrupt you, James.
I didn't say they didn't, Tom.
Yeah.
But when I sit here on TV and I watch cops jump out of a car and bomb rush a suspect they don't even know, you can't do that, Tom.
Yeah, I agree with you.
In a prison setting, you will start a major riot. Now, listen, here's what they need to start doing. I would like to see Dallas or some of the larger police departments training orders on use of forces. I bet it's not like the prison system. First thing you do in prison, Tom, I don't care if you got a guy waving a gun and you get a call for control. The first thing you do when you get there is survey the scene. They'll not survey the scene, Tom.
Well, they certainly didn't with Tamir Rice.
Huh?
They certainly didn't with Tamir Rice. 2 seconds, car to shot.
You listen careful now. I've done this for a living.
Yeah.
Sir, I don't care what the call from control say. I don't care whether he's got a gun and shooting that gun. If you pull up there in correction, you're going to be walking, but on the street, you in a car. When you pull up to the scene, Tom, you survey the scene. If you got someone there that's coherent, the most important thing after you survey that scene is give that suspect a verbal order. You'd be surprised how far a verbal order go when you're talking to someone in stress. Yeah. We do that in prison. You have to do that. Now, remember the old movies, cop movies, Starsky and Hutch and Highway Patrol?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When they pull up on someone like that, they will pull that cop there and get behind it and give that verbal command. A lot of these cops on the street, I don't care how much training they got, I don't care what city they come from. A lot of them just want action.
Yeah.
They want to see something like that.
Well, and
happen.
I think you could hear it in the voice of the officer who committed the murder yesterday, or the killing yesterday. The just hysteria, the panic, the fear in his voice. It's just
I'm gonna say
bad
something
training,
that a lot of people
or bad recruiting.
But one of the basic problems we face in corrections, Tom, particularly when we start letting women on the compound, was the innate fear of white officers or blacks in general. They're just afraid of us. Yeah. On the street, if you tell a white man, a white cop, a Negro got a gun, he's going to match that gun and kill him. This is what is happening. These people look like clowns jumping out of a car with guns, rushing up to a man that they don't know whether got a gun or not. All they had to do was just pull up there and give him a verbal command and say, put your hands up. Let me see your hands. We do it every day in a prison setting. No one knows this. You can take 10 correction officers on the street out there, and they'll do more than 50 cops on the street because we're trained to deal with that type situation.
Yeah. Don't you think, James, that whole issue of white people, but in this case, white police officers, being just kind of generically afraid of black men is one of the major problems that we've got, and it's one that's constantly exacerbated. Because the white power structure, the economic power structure in this country is largely white, and so white people tend not to hire black people, and so the black opportunities are limited. So then you have black people in some neighborhoods resorting to like drug dealing as a way of just making getting by, and then you've got the police coming in, and now it's just like this continual cycle that seems to reinforce itself.
Well, when you come down to actual policing, Tom, prisons have exactly the same thing. There are areas of dormitories in prison where they have drugs at. Most drugs are brought in by officers. I've been gone 20 years, but it's the same game. I still got friends who work there.
Sure.
Inmates do not have access to that type of opportunity, so you got a lot of stuff in there. But you take, like, for example, when you look at, like, Chicago up there, see, in a prison setting, Tom, you have to put the painkiller where the pain is right then, because when you come back the next day, you got to ride. You have to stop it.
Yeah.
You have to stop it now.
Yeah. And we need to do that now. James, thanks for the call, and thanks for sharing your experience and your story with us. I appreciate it. Good to hear from you. It's 15 minutes before the hour. We'll be right back.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.